What is up, guys? Today we'll be unboxing and do my first impressions of the Poco X3 NFC. So this is around a $200 or like kind of around $230, $250 budget phone, and it's got some pretty interesting specs here. So let's go ahead and run them down. First, we have a glass back, plastic frame. It's IP53 splash proof, IPS 120 Hz HDR10 display. Again, 120 Hz, pretty crazy. 6.67 inches, full 1080p, $395 for the PPI. Android 10, MIUI 12, Snapdragon 732G, and Adreno 618. Micro SD support, 64 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM. We also have a quad camera setup, which we will get into. Stereo speakers, also NFC and infrared port, fingerprint scanner on the side, and a massive 6,000 milliamp battery. So let's go ahead, rip this guy off, see what it looks like. And here's the box. Pretty nice looking box here, very clean, really nice yellow color on the back. See, so this phone is very interesting. I mean, 120 Hz for under $300 is pretty crazy, right? And I will have links down below if you guys want to check this out. Let's see what's in here. We got our SIM tool remover. We got some paperwork. And then we get a little gel skin plastic case with this phone as well. So we can see a couple of these specs right here. Snapdragon 732G, 120 Hz. Here's the phone itself. Pretty big phone. And as you can see, very interesting looking camera setup. Got the big Poco branding right here, as you can see. Really nice here. So you can see we have our power button, volume rockers. We still have our headphone jack, USB-C, stereo speakers. It kind of has a bit of a weight to it because of that 6,000 milliamp battery. So let's see what else we get in the box here. We get our, looks like our fast charging brick here as well. And if you buy this, it will come with the, the right adapter for it. And then we have our USB-C. So let me go ahead and set it up, and yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look. Alright guys, so we're in the phone, and as we can see, I love that the fingerprint scanner is on the power button. I think it's like the best place for it. I like it on the side other than the back, and it's super fast and accurate. You also have face unlock on here as well, which is really awesome. So let's go ahead and talk about the display, because I think that's pretty much like the highlight of this phone, right? So it's an IPS display, 120 Hz HDR10, again 6.67 inches, 1080p, $395 for the PPI. Absolutely beautiful display here. Everything is just silky smooth when you're scrolling and stuff like that. Just the animations and everything just feels really fast and fluid here. And the display itself, so it's an IPS display and it looks fine to me. It's very colorful. I went outdoors with it to take some shots. I was able to see it outdoors, so it gets fairly bright as well. So I did not have really any issues with the display. You have the little punch hole up top, which is really nice. I think it gives off a very immersive experience. And yeah, so it just feels super smooth. And like I said, if you play games that are compatible with a high refresh rate, it's just gonna make a huge difference. You'll be able to see it, and everything just runs super silky smooth. And you really notice it when you're like going through the animations and stuff like that, or you're just coming in and out of applications swiping. You'll notice like every little animation and stuff like that. So it is nice. A lot of people might not care, but yeah, it's just a nice experience to have. So out of the box, this phone comes with Android 10 and MIUI 12. I have a separate video going over MIUI 12, but let's just briefly go over the phone real quick. So the toggles and stuff, pretty much your standard stuff here. You can take a screenshot. You have your scanner right here. You have your dark mode on here as well. You also have built-in screen recorder. Remember, this phone has an IR blaster, so you'll be able to do that with the Mi remote. Your floating window, so basically if I have like settings open, if I want to get to the floating window, I would just tap that. Or hold on, let me go to like the Play Store, and I would just tap the floating window. As you can see, it will come up right there, and then I can go to YouTube or something like that. And then I could just kind of bounce it up and down, bring it back. So it's basically the same feature that we saw in the Galaxy devices. And then when I'm done, I just swipe it away. So that is a really nice feature to have here. And of course, this one has NFC as well. Now there are versions without NFC, so do note that. So make sure the box on the box it says with NFC. And let's just go through these settings real quick, see if we can find anything interesting. So here's the refresh rate. We have it on 120 Hertz. Now it tells you that 60 Hertz will save battery life, and it says some apps will increase refresh rate automatically to improve picture quality. And yeah, it's just the standard stuff on here from the UI 12. Home screen. So this is a very highly customizable. Like I said, I went over all this stuff in the video. And then we have our where is it at, special features. So this one has the second space, video toolbox, game turbo, which we'll do a full gaming test on here. But yeah, so be sure to check out that video if you want to see all of the like software stuff. And one thing I noticed is that there's no, like on most of these swipe phones, gesture phones, there's like a little bar. There's no bar here, so you just get like the full screen experience where it's like no interruption or anything like that. You usually see like a little white bar right here. Alright guys, so this phone does have the Snapdragon 732G, like I said, and Adreno 618, 64 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM with micro SD support. So basically it's a pretty good gaming device. If I go to settings here to show you the settings, you can see we're on high max graphics, or we can do graphics with very high. Now of course we can't like max everything out, but the game looks great, and I'll do a full gaming test for you guys. But you can definitely game on here. Now I will say this is one of the warmer phones, and I haven't really been like gaming super hard on here, but I can already tell it's gonna be like one of the hotter phones because it's already kind of warm. But it's not like warm to where it's gonna burn you, or you know, or uncomfortable. Oh, gosh. Yeah, but this will be perfectly fine if you're trying to do gaming on this phone. Now you've got stereo speakers on here, so let's go ahead and hear how they sound. So some very nice, crisp and loud speakers on here. Pretty good punch with the bass. So overall it just sounds really great. Always, stereo speakers are always a nice addition to have on any smartphone. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the cameras on this phone. So again, you have a quad camera setup, 64 megapixel standard, 13 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor, 4K video, 20 megapixel selfie that shoots in 1080p. So let's go ahead and check that out. And also another thing with the app drawer, which I thought was really cool, is how everything is organized in MIUI 12. I thought it was pretty neat. It's a nice little clean way to make sure everything is clean. But let's go bounce into the camera app. Let's just show you the camera app before I show you the video. So we can go ultra wide, we can do 2x video, Pro mode, we can mess with the ISO, aperture, all that stuff. Night mode, 64 megapixel, and then a couple of other different modes on here: long exposure, clone, documents, time lapse, all of your little standard stuff on here. And also, if I want to come right here, we have more settings: timers, movie frames, grids, all that little stuff. The macro camera is really cool, so if I wanted to get like really close in on a shot, I could do that. I'll show you guys the pictures. Now, I've been snapping a couple of pictures with this phone, and overall I was pretty satisfied with the camera quality on here. I think you get some really nice punchy colors. The phone also retains quite a bit of detail as well. So overall, for this price point, I wasn't too disappointed with the cameras. You get good dynamic range. Like I said, the detail is there. The macro camera is pretty fun to play with as well. And yeah, so overall I was really satisfied with the photos. I got some really crisp and accurate photos here. Also, I'm going to cut to the video so you guys can see how the mic quality sounds when you're recording with the rear camera outdoors and indoors. Alright guys, here is the video for the Poco X3. Let me know how the mic quality sounds. Go ahead and zoom in. Alright guys, here's the indoor video. You guys can hear what I sound like indoors, see what the video looks like indoors. Let's try to get in on this one. Looks pretty good. Try to do we can't go all the way out with the ultra wide with the slider, so I can't do ultra wide in the video for some reason. Now I can zoom in, the digital zoom, but I can't come all the way out. Now let's go ahead and talk about again the additional features before we talk about the battery life. So this phone does have NFC, and you do have the infrared port. If you don't know what that is, you can basically use this as a remote to control like an air conditioner or a TV or something like that, which is always really handy. I think it's a kind of an underrated feature in smartphones. But just talk about the battery. So I have to keep using the phone, but my first impressions, the battery life is really great. So far I've been using it throughout the day, and yeah, it's been super solid. The drain tests that I've seen on YouTube have this phone at around 9 hours of screen on time, again with heavy use, max brightness and stuff like that. So this is a phone that will get you through the day no problem, if not 2 days of battery life. So just crazy battery life on this phone. So overall, my first impressions, it's a super solid phone. What do you guys think? Be sure to let me know. If you guys want to check the phone out, be sure to hit up the link down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.